There's a man pounding on my apartment door right now who thinks I destroyed his life. 3 weeks ago, I didn't know he existed. 3 weeks ago, I didn't know I had a daughter. I'm sitting on my couch, frozen, listening to him yell through the door. I know you're in there, Jake. Open this door right now or I'm calling the police. Let me back up. 3 weeks ago, I did something stupid. I took one of those Ancestry DNA tests during a Black Friday sale. You know, the one spit in a tube, mail it off, find out you're 23% Irish or whatever. I was bored, single, and curious about my family tree. My parents were adopted, so I figured it might be interesting. The results came back 2 weeks later. Ethnicity breakdown, health reports, the usual stuff. But there was another section I almost missed, DNA relatives. I scrolled through it casually. Distant cousins I'd never heard of. Fourth cousins twice removed. Whatever. Then I saw it. Lily Martinez, close family match, parent/child relationship, 49.8% DNA shared. I stared at that screen for 10 minutes straight. Parent/child. I read it over and over, convinced there was a mistake. I'm 32 years old. I don't have kids. I've never had kids. I would know if I had a kid. Right? My hands were shaking as I clicked on her profile. Limited information, she was 7 years old, lived 2 states over in Arizona. The profile picture was private, but her mother's account was linked, Sarah Martinez. Sarah. My chest tightened. I hadn't heard that name in 8 years. Sarah Chen, no, Sarah Martinez now. My ex-girlfriend from college. The girl I thought I was going to marry. I did the math. 7 years old. Born in 2017. We broke up in early 2017. Oh God. I opened Facebook with trembling fingers and searched for Sarah Martinez. Her profile popped up immediately. She hadn't blocked me, probably because she never thought I'd look for her again. The first photo I saw stopped my heart. A little girl with my eyes. My exact eyes. Same shape, same color, that weird hazel green my mom always said made me look like I was always thinking too hard. The girl had Sarah's smile, but everything else? That was me at 7 years old. I pulled up an old childhood photo my aunt had sent me last year. The resemblance was undeniable. I scrolled through Sarah's Facebook like a madman. Pictures of birthday parties. First day of school. A man I didn't recognize, tall, Hispanic, kind face, with his arm around Sarah. His arm around my daughter. Captions calling him Daddy and my amazing husband Marcus. My daughter thought another man was her father. I need to tell you about Sarah and me, so you understand why this is so messed up. We met in college, junior year. She was pre-med, I was engineering. We dated for 2 years, and it was good, really good. We talked about the future. Where we'd live. How many kids we wanted. She wanted 3. I wanted 2. We compromised on 2 and a dog. Then, 3 months before graduation, she told me she was pregnant. I'm not going to lie, I panicked. We were 24, broke college students with student loans and no jobs lined up. I wasn't ready. But I told her I'd step up. I meant it. I was terrified, but I meant it. We started planning. Found a cheap apartment near her parents. Started looking at cribs on Craigslist. She was about 8 weeks along when we told our families. My parents were disappointed but supportive. Her parents were cold but civil. Then, 2 months into the pregnancy, everything fell apart. Sarah called me crying one night. She could barely speak. I lost it, she sobbed. I lost the baby. I rushed to her apartment. She was curled up on her bathroom floor, devastated. She said she'd started bleeding that afternoon, went to the ER, and they confirmed it, miscarriage. No more heartbeat. I held her while she cried. I cried too. And honestly, beneath the grief, I felt this terrible, shameful sense of relief. We were too young. We weren't ready. Maybe this was for the best. That thought made me feel like a monster. Sarah pulled away from me after that. Emotionally, physically, she shut down. She said being around me reminded her of what we lost. 2 months later, she broke up with me. Said she needed space to heal. I moved to Portland for a job. She stayed in Phoenix. We never spoke again. Until 3 weeks ago, when I sent her a message on Facebook. Sarah, we need to talk. I took a DNA test. I know about Lily. She responded within 5 minutes. Please don't do this. Please. You told me you had a miscarriage. You looked me in the eyes and lied to me. I can explain. Can we talk on the phone? Please don't message me about this. I called her. She answered on the first ring. Jake, I'm so sorry. Her voice was exactly how I remembered it, soft, careful, like she was always choosing her words precisely. You're sorry? Sarah, I have a daughter. A 7-year-old daughter I didn't know existed. What the hell happened? She was crying now. I didn't have a miscarriage. I lied. I was scared and confused and I made a horrible decision and I've regretted it every single day since. Why? Why would you do that to me? Because you didn't want her, she exploded. When I told you I was pregnant, you went pale. You looked terrified. You kept saying, I don't know if I'm ready for this and, maybe we should wait, and I knew, you didn't want to be a father. Not really. You would have stayed out of obligation, and you would have resented me and resented her, and I couldn't do that to any of us. That wasn't your decision to make. I know. She was sobbing now. I know, okay? But I was 24 and pregnant and terrified, and I made a choice. After we broke up, I met Marcus at a support group. He'd just lost his wife to cancer. We bonded over grief. He was kind and stable and actually wanted to be a father. We got married 4 months after we met. I told him I was pregnant, that the baby was premature. He never questioned it. He fell in love with Lily the second she was born. I felt like I was going to throw up. Does he know? No. And Jake, you can't tell him. Please. Lily is happy. She has a father who loves her. Marcus has been there for every soccer game, every school play, every nightmare. You've been. I've been nothing because you didn't give me a choice. The line went quiet. What do you want from me? She finally asked. I want to meet her. I want to know my daughter. You can't. It will destroy everything. You already destroyed everything 8 years ago, Sarah. She hung up on me. That was 2 weeks ago. I didn't push it. I was trying to process everything, trying to figure out what the hell to do. I started seeing a therapist. I looked into my legal rights. I stared at Lily's photos for hours, memorizing every detail of a face I should have known since birth. Then, 4 days ago, Sarah called me back. Marcus knows, she said. Her voice was hollow. What? How? Lily did a family tree project at school. They had the kids do DNA swabs as part of some science initiative. The results came back. Marcus isn't her biological father. He confronted me. I had to tell him everything. My heart was racing. What did he say? He's devastated. Furious. He asked for your information. Jake, he's coming to Portland. He wants to talk to you. When? He left this morning. He should be there by tonight. That was 4 days ago. Now he's at my door. I open it. The man standing in my doorway is about my height, maybe late 30s, with red-rimmed eyes and 3 days of stubble. He looks like he hasn't slept since he found out. You're Jake. It's not a question. Yeah. You must be Marcus. Don't. He holds up a hand. Don't act like we're about to have some civil conversation. You don't get to destroy my family and then act friendly. I didn't destroy your family. Sarah did that 8 years ago. His jaw clenches. You got her pregnant and then abandoned her. That's not what happened. She told me she had a miscarriage. She lied to me. I would have been there if I'd known. Would you? He steps closer. Because from what Sarah told me, you didn't want the baby. You weren't ready. You were relieved when you thought she lost it. That hits me like a punch. I was 24 years old and scared out of my mind. But I was stepping up. I was going to be there. Well, congratulations, you get to be there now. You want to know what that looks like? It looks like waking up at 2 a.m. because she has nightmares about monsters under her bed. It looks like spending 3 hours in the ER because she fell off the monkey bars. It looks like teaching her to read and helping her with math homework and explaining why some kids are mean at school. It looks like showing up every single day for 7 years. My throat is tight. I didn't get the chance to do any of that because Sarah took it from me. And now you're going to take her from me? We stare at each other. Both of us are breathing hard. Both of us are crying. I don't know, I finally say. I don't know what I'm going to do. She's my daughter, Marcus says, his voice breaking. Maybe not biologically, but in every way that matters. I've been her father since the day she was born. You're just the guy who got her mother pregnant. I'm her father. No. You're her DNA donor. There's a difference. I want to argue, but I can't. Because he's right. Biology doesn't make you a father. Being there does. And I haven't been there. I haven't been anywhere. But I could be there now. I want to meet her, I say quietly. Marcus's face goes hard. No. She's my daughter. She doesn't know you exist. You would destroy her entire reality just to satisfy your own need to feel like a father? She deserves to know the truth. She's 7 years old. What truth? That her mother lied? That the father she loves isn't her real dad? That there's some stranger out there who shares her DNA? What good does that do her? I don't have an answer. If you cared about Lily at all, Marcus continues, you'd walk away. You'd let her have the stable, happy life she has now. You wouldn't blow it up just because you feel like you missed out. I did miss out. I missed 7 years. And whose fault is that? Not Lily's. But she's the one who'll pay the price if you do this. He's right. God help me, he's right. But I can't let go. I can't just pretend I don't have a daughter out there who doesn't know I exist. What if we figured something out? I say. What if I could be in her life without disrupting yours? How? How does that work? You want to be Uncle Jake who shows up at birthdays? You want supervised visits where she has no idea who you really are? I don't know. Maybe. Something. Anything other than nothing. Marcus runs his hands through his hair. He looks exhausted. Broken. Sarah wants to talk to both of us, he finally says. She's flying in tomorrow. She thinks we need to figure this out face to face. Okay. But Jake? If you try to take my daughter from me, I will fight you with everything I have. I will drag this through every court, spend every penny I have on lawyers. You will have to prove to a judge that ripping a little girl away from the only father she's ever known is in her best interest. And you'll lose. He turns to leave, then stops. You want to know the worst part? Lily did a presentation about me for Father's Day last year. She stood up in front of her entire class and said I was her hero. That I was the best dad in the world. That she hoped she could be just like me when she grew up. He looks at me with devastation in his eyes. How do I tell her that was all based on a lie? He leaves. I close the door and slide down to the floor. The next day, Sarah arrives. We meet at a coffee shop, Neutral Ground. It's the first time I've seen her in 8 years. She looks older, tired. There are lines around her eyes that weren't there before. Marcus is already there when I arrive. They're sitting together, and I see him take her hand. Whatever anger he has toward her, he still loves her. I can see it. I sit down across from them. Thank you for coming, Sarah says quietly. Did I have a choice? Jake, I know you're angry. Angry? I laugh bitterly. Sarah, I'm beyond angry. I don't even have words for what I am. I'm sorry. I've said it before, but I'll say it 1,000,000 times. I'm sorry. I made a terrible decision and I've lived with the guilt every day since. But you still kept living the lie, I point out. You could have told me at any point. When Lily was 1. When she was 3. When she started kindergarten. You had 1,000 chances to do the right thing and you chose the lie every time. She's crying now. Because I was protecting her. And Marcus. And the life we built. You were protecting yourself. Marcus squeezes her hand. This isn't helping. We need to figure out what happens now. I take a deep breath. I want to be in her life. I don't know what that looks like, but I can't just walk away. She's my daughter. She doesn't know you, Marcus says. To her, you're a stranger. Then let me stop being a stranger. Let me get to know her. And when she asks who you are, what do we tell her? That stops me cold. Because I don't have an answer. Do we tell her I'm her biological father? Do we lie and say I'm a family friend? Do we wait until she's older? We could tell her the truth, Sarah says quietly. Age-appropriate truth. That I knew Jake before I met Marcus. That Jake is her biological father but Marcus is her dad. That sometimes families are complicated but love is what matters. She's 7, Marcus says. She won't understand that. Kids understand more than we think, Sarah argues. And finding out later, when she's older and angrier, would be worse. They go back and forth. I sit there, watching them navigate parenthood together, making decisions about my daughter, and I realize something that makes my chest ache. They're her parents. Not just Marcus, both of them. They've been doing this together for 7 years. They're a team. And I'm the outsider trying to break in. What if I wait? I hear myself say. They both look at me. What if I wait until she's older? 13, maybe 14. Old enough to understand. Old enough to process it. And until then. I don't know. Maybe I'm just someone on the periphery. Someone who sends birthday presents and Christmas cards. Someone who's there if she ever wants to know me. Sarah's eyes well up. You do that? I don't want to. But Marcus is right, it's not about what I want. It's about what's best for Lily. And right now, disrupting her entire reality because I want to feel like a father seems pretty selfish. Marcus is staring at me like he's trying to figure out if I'm serious. But, I continue, when she's old enough, she gets the truth. All of it. And she gets to decide if she wants a relationship with me. That's the deal. Sarah reaches across the table and grabs my hand. Thank you. Jake, thank you. I pull my hand away. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for her. And Sarah? I will never forgive you for what you took from me. She nods, tears streaming down her face. I know. Marcus extends his hand. I look at it for a long moment, then shake it. Take care of her, I say. Take care of my daughter. I will. I promise. They leave. I sit in the coffee shop alone, staring at my cold coffee, trying to figure out how I feel. I think about the DNA test that started all of this. That stupid, curious impulse to spit in a tube and mail it off. I think about Lily, 7 years old, gap-toothed smile, my eyes, Sarah's laugh. A whole person I had a hand in creating but don't actually know. I think about the next 7 years. Waiting. Watching from a distance. Sending birthday cards she probably won't understand the significance of. I think about the day she turns 13 and learns the truth. Will she hate me for staying away? Will she hate Sarah for lying? Will she hate all of us? I don't know. What I do know is this: being a father isn't about biology. It's not about who contributed DNA or whose eyes she has. It's about showing up. Being there. Making the hard choices even when they break your heart. Marcus has been her father for 7 years. He's earned that title in ways I never could. But I'm still her dad. Somewhere in her DNA, in her genes, in the things she'll never understand until she's older, I'm there. I'm part of her. And someday, maybe she'll want to know that part of herself. Until then, I'm just a name on a birthday card. A stranger she doesn't know yet. But I'm waiting. I'm her father, and I'm waiting.